Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think we've learned a lot, right? And I think the community's learned a lot. It wasn't just about this project. There was a lot of fact finding. And through that fact finding, I think I'm able to kind of make some thoughts that I'll share with you guys. I did take some time to write it because I wanted to make sure I give you a comprehensive thought process that was in my mind. Looked at this project very, very thoroughly from all angles. This project and land is unique in so many ways. And I know and realize at some point a project will be approved, and at some point there will likely be housing as a part of it. The real question is at what ratio: homes, apartments, age qualified residential, and retail. That's the question in front of us. For me, I've identified in my ongoing dialogue with the developer concerns relative to traffic, safety issues, especially for our seniors, and the concerns of the extent of housing versus retail. The housing crisis and RHNA requirements are definitely important. However, the landscape of the housing crisis and needs will undoubtedly be changing with time as a result of COVID-19 and the economy. Lots have changed, and I expect with time, the needs and requirements of the Dublin community will continue to change as well. For me, there is no need to rush nor assume what may come as a result of policy and legislation currently being discussed by the state relative to housing. We cannot forget what Dublin has done well. It may not be ideal, but we have definitely been a leader in housing generation. Currently, not as well related to affordable housing, which the entire Tri-Valley can see. In my opinion, now it's time for other cities to step up as well to help meet the regional housing needs. I want to make sure everyone understands I am making a decision based on today, how the community sees the needs, and how the Eastern Specific Plan's core fundamentals and associated zoning were created with its vision. In the vicinity of the project, there are a lot of components, from housing to retail to hotels, a hospital and medical offices, restaurants, car dealers, park facilities, which we Dubliners appreciate. We look at the eastern reaches of Dublin. There are two main opportunities for large-scale developments and an opportunity to really deliver a vision for the city. We must think long-term, not get to a point in the future where we look back to today to say we should have, could have, would have. Now is the time to take the correct choices. We have the opportunity, if the project is not ideal, does not meet the intent or the vision of the Eastern Specific Plan, or does not meet zoning. The real question is, why rush now? It's been this way for over 20 years. For me, we might really want to pause and reflect. Over the past months and years, we have made many study sessions on various parcels and approved changes, but never fully, in my opinion, reflected on the entire impact on the infrastructure with a long-term plan or impact to support all the changes. Quite honestly, I feel that's why many residents are feeling critical elements and amenities in the city are busting by the seams, for a better choice of words. For me, I personally can't simply accept or agree to half of a Band-Aid and push more problems to further expand the wounds. The investments and support to the schools are important and not unrecognized, but consistent with prior proceedings and legal advice, even today, at the time, we can't make decisions to deny, or for that matter, approve solely based on impacts, or in this case, financial contributions to the schools. As such, I feel I must disregard this benefit, unfortunately, and focus on the project attributes. There is a plus, senior housing. It's much needed in the city and the Tri-Valley. The city does not work for developers. We cannot forget that. We've talked about land and right-of-way acquisition, and we can't just take from one to give to another. For me, traffic is a major concern, as most traffic models won't pick the peak impacts that many residents will feel of a high school and adjacent schools in a peak 15 and 30-minute time frame. We cannot forget that it's a major corridor and a bypass to 580 where incidents occur frequently. We must be mindful of this. In the proposal, there is a street proposed to cut through an age-qualified housing development. In my opinion, it's one that introduces a risk and a pedestrian conflict from a safety perspective near a planned clubhouse. The list of traffic issues, I feel, continues even further, and you would have sensed that through my questioning. The impacts on the wildlife that were documented by residents, planned mitigation insufficient, and questions to the EIR all raise questions. For me, at this time, I don't see this to be a well-planned out project. In fairness, I have shared my concerns on multiple occasions with the developers, so none of this is new. In my opinion, they have not been addressed. Regarding zoning and the potential development, there has been good guidance documents. Just like residents have been reviewing over the past few months, the developer knew the requirements and the community desired when considering the parcel and the options it was studying. They stated so today. Some would say there is a risk by saying no, but in my opinion, there is an opportunity for something better. Over the past few days, the City Council has received hundreds of emails to reject the project. Hundreds of more posts on social media also called to reject the project. That adds up to thousands of protests against this currently proposed project. And for the record, they were not confused. They even spent 8 hours waiting to voice their opinions. They were simply committed. I'm an elected official that listens to the people that elected me. The residents are right. The city is well over its quotas for housing. We can skin the cat however you want. I understand and feel the frustrations of the residents who are given more and more housing by the officials that they trusted and elected. We are in the heart of the Bay and Silicon Valley. We need technology companies and businesses on our vacant lands as well, not just housing. One thing COVID-19 has proven is we can change the way we operate and think. We need jobs close to home. It's good for communities and it's good for the environment. For me, tonight, I will do the right thing for the community that placed me when they elected me, fulfill their expectations, and I will formally reject this project. I want to continue to work in the interest of the residents, the community, and local businesses. Again, I definitely, for one, am not in a rush. I would rather see things done correctly. In my opinion, lots of modifications are necessary before this is ready for approval. You may disagree with my opinions, and that is fine. We can agree to disagree. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.